And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. You're watching the Melted Ice Podcast, starring Matthew Spoolhoff, Jake Reed, Drew Roper, and now Connor Bogan.
Make sure it's actually recording.
It is.
Okay. Oh, hey, look at that. There we go. Awesome.
Sorry.
Alright, now that we know what to look for, we can have Justin try to refix
a
it.
chair there, bud?
Yeah, I kind of do.
Okay, alright.
Alright, look at this. I might leave this as part of like the deleted scenes.
Fucking amateur hour over here.
Right. We've only been doing this for almost a year.
I've been doing
He's
it for
only been doing it
one
for
episode.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll give you the benefit out of saying one.
Let's see, he's been here a couple episodes.
Two.
Full
Can we get a
time. We've
mic?
been doing it full time, one episode. I knew that.
Can we get a mic check on Connor? Let's see. Everybody.
Talking, I'm talking, blah blah blah, SpongeBob.
Shut up.
What's that? Oh, is that Mr. Audio guy?
Ravioli.
Ravioli.
Give me the formidori.
What?
Justin's over here trying to tune in everybody's mics and we're over here just talking away.
Alright,
Round the
this
horn.
is good. Robert,
Aye.
like, this is good.
No, yeah, no.
Monkey, check, 1, 2.
Yeah, this is good.
Alright.
Right on.
Why is yours facing a weird way? I think yours is like facing the wrong way because I'm watching the.
Yeah, you put it the wrong way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, you got
Why would it face that way?
because the little, see the little
Diaphragm.
circle inside there?
Oh.
That's the pickup there, buddy.
Is that better?
Yeah, it is better.
Alright.
Alright.
Dumbass.
Are we all good then?
I
Yeah.
figured the top.
Alright.
Hold up.
Give me a countdown when you're ready so we know when to start.
Hold up.
Yeah, we're good. Whatever.
Okay, hold up. What I do? We got all game takes, everything is set. We're all good.
Oh shit.
Fucking that.
Amateur
You
idiot.
want to do a rundown really quick? Of like,
I don't even have my phone. I'm gonna. It's in the bag.
I put it on the table.
Oh wait, then I do have it somewhere on me. I had it somewhere on me. Oh, it's right here. I got it, guys. It's all good. Let me get game takes pulled up.
Leaving this in there.
Huh?
He,
Oh, yeah,
he's
it's-
already recording.
Yeah, that's okay. It's the date today is Saturday, October 13th. This is Melted Ice Podcast, and we're just gonna wing it.
Run to.
We're gonna run through it while we go through it. Just kidding. We'll run through it right now. We'll cut all this stuff out. Waiting on Roper to do this run through.
I'm waiting on you, dude. I don't know what we're doing today. What do you want to do? I don't really care.
What do you got? I mean,
I've got lists and lists. But
it's clearly.
yeah.
He acts like he's studying for a college exam when it comes to this thing.
Maybe I'm right.
There have been 20 goalies with a shutout.
There's been 20 goalies with a shot.
10.
Oh. There you go. You write it down, buddy.
Okay.
What do you
No, in most games with like 7 to 5.
Right. You have that Red Kelly thing, right?
want? Yep. I do anyway. I'm about
It's fine.
amateur hour over here. But
And we'll just run with it. What else does anybody else want to cover? I mean, somewhere towards the end of the show, we have top 5 right wingers.
Wings and Jacks recap.
Put Jacks above the wings. Somewhere in the middle of the show, put wings.
Do Ovi passing Bobby?
Bobby Cole?
Golden Jet. Isn't that what they call him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they call him Brett, the Golden Brett.
Golden
Because
Brett.
of his
I'm
dad.
sorry.
Well, he was the Golden Jet, Bobby.
Yeah,
was.
Alright, and
let's see.
Connor segment. I just gonna write you guys' name down in your segment.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Connor, you'll be up for the wings.
Yeah, that's all I got. That's all I put down anyway. Excuse me.
officials.
I'm over here thinking we already started.
Nah, man, we ain't started yet. I was goofing off. Griffins recap.
Did you guys know Nashville missed 9 power plays against the Jets?
They missed 9 power
They're
plays?
0-9.
Wow.
Power plays.
I bet Paul Maurice was happy with that
They
disappointing.
won 3-0.
Wow.
Alright, so we got Red Kelly's retirement, Jack's recap, OB passes Hall, AHL officials and their crappy calling, Wings recap, Connor's segment of the 3 stars.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what we just discussed as that freaking Speedway, you dingus. But, and then we got the Griffins recap from last night, top 5 right wingers right now, and then Roper's segment closes out. That felt good.
Sounds good.
Alright, there's the thing if anybody needs it. Are we ready? Yes? No? Maybe so? Alright, Justin, give me a countdown.
3, 2, 1. Dude, I've been recording since, yeah.
You can edit that, right? You can edit that, right?
Today's date is October 13th, I think. Saturday, whatever, who cares? This is the Melted Ice Podcast. We're back on Game Takes. I actually hit record this week. No, apparently we can only shoot 15-minute segments now. So there's no point doing this on Game Takes. I'm looking at the timer right now. Alright, anyways. Season's in full swing. For our YouTube followers, guys, let's wave at the camera a little bit. You know, smile and wave to your best princess wave counter. We have the Wash Capital, the Wash signature kind of tee, Stanley Cup. Roper, why don't you flip around and model it off. Now available at the Melted Ice store. It's not yours till you shake on it. Shirts. Connor's got the original design over there in the black and white, and now Melted Ice has a cheap beanie you can buy for $5. There, product advertisement. Now the board of directors will leave us alone. Alright, anyways. Detroit has decided that they're going to retire Jakob Kindle's number.
Jakob
Kendall?
It's probably the last person to use it since Red Kelly. but-
Exactly. It's the only person I've ever known to wear the number 4.
Aaron Ward, I think, used 4 back in the day.
That's the only person
No,
in
we're
my...
talking about good players that used the number.
Kindle
Ward
was
was
pretty
great.
alright.
No, it wasn't.
Aaron Ward was
1 season, maybe.
solid.
Anyways. Roper, take it away.
Yeah, Red Wings decided before Thursday's game against Toronto, their owner Chris Ilitch announced that they'd be retiring Red Kelly's number 4. Well deserved. I think he's a lot of people. A lot of people believe that he was kind of like the Bobby Orr before Bobby Orr. A lot of people believe he kind of inspired the wave of being a puck moving defenseman instead of just being before Red Kelly and Paul Harvey came along. It was just you're just there to stop pucks and you keep them away from the goalie. So yeah, he kind of retooled the defensive position.
Alright.
Yeah, I was looking up some research on this. He had played with Detroit and Toronto. He will be, when they do retire his number, he will be one of 7 people, or one of 8 people to have their jersey number retired in 2 different arenas.
Nice.
You guys name them? Name the other 7?
Gretzky.
Gretzky's one of them. He's technically retired around the entire league, but he's hanging in LA and in Edmonton, so officially hanging. So Gretzky is one of them.
Well, once they retire his jersey, Red Kelly.
Well, Red Kelly would be one of them, yeah.
Does Brett Hull have?
You're on the right track, but no, not
Bobby Hill.
Bobby Hull is hanging in Winnipeg and in Chicago.
I think Brett only played for Boston.
No, Brett played for St. Louis, Dallas,
Oh yeah,
Detroit,
Detroit.
That's
and
right.
then Arizona for like a half a season.
My bad, I forgot.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest.
Gordie Howe is hanging in Carolina because of his time in Hartford, and then, of course in Detroit. Ray Bork, I think this one's kind of stupid, I'm be honest with you. Ray Bork is hanging in Colorado, even though he played there only a year. And then he's also hanging in Boston. Mark Messier is hanging in New York and in Edmonton. I'd say that's probably one of them that I agree with. Patrick Waugh is hanging in Montreal and in Colorado. And then Tim Horton is hanging in Buffalo and in Montreal. Toronto. So
Nice.
if you like donuts, I guess that one's a good
Right.
call.
Hey, they know them for more than just donuts. It's a coffee shop.
Yeah. So
Canadians should be offended by that. Alright. Well, for once, I never thought I'd really say this, but the Muskegon Lumberjacks are red hot right now.
yeah.
5-0 coming into tonight's game. I don't even remember who they're playing.
They play home opener tonight against Chicago, the team that ousted them in the first round of the playoffs last year. So should be a nice chippy game.
Always is when Chicago comes into town.
Yeah.
Chicago and the Youngstown Phantoms, both the United States Hockey League. Those are two chippy games. And a couple, unfortunately for our guys that can actually see the show, Jake is not here. That's why it's relatively quiet today. But I know Chicago and Youngstown are two games that Jake and I like going to. Everybody just gets real into it. The place is banging. It's just loud.
And they play both of them this weekend. Sunday's
Yeah.
games against Youngstown. So.
Well, I got time before I got to go into work.
Yeah. I was looking at some of their games because I had heard they were undefeated. They're 4-0 on the season. First game was against Fargo, or the defending champs, and they beat them 4-3. So that's pretty impressive. If you ask me, Karki had a shutout their last game against Youngstown. They've won them every way. I mean, they've had close games. They've had shootout wins. They've shut people out. They've absolutely dominated people. So I mean,
So they're winning in varieties.
yeah.
That is what I like to hear.
Yeah.
That is a great thing. So, Jack's game tonight, I encourage our viewers of the Michigan, or West Michigan, I should say, region to go out and watch this. As a lot of these guys that we've figured out, with the Griffins having, Trevor Hamilton, former Muskegon Lumberjack alumni. These guys are the future of the future of hockey.
Yeah.
So, check them out, watch them out. You could say you followed them before they were big.
You got Svechnikov, who made the NHL.
After 1 year in juniors, yeah. I mean, you only played 2 years in juniors.
Got his first point. I think he only has 1 point right
No, he
now.
has 2 goals.
2 goals?
I think he has like 3 points, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, Alexander, the grade 8, I think he's going to be one of them that I feel like the league should just retire the number when he retires. He's passing every record. And all the Russians will retire his number.
Well, he passed. You want to take that one, Connor?
Speaking of Bobby Hull from earlier, he
Right.
passed Bobby Hull with the all-time goal list with 611 goals in his career, and Bobby Hull had 610.
Provided injuries, I think he'll pass a few more people this year. I know Iginla and Sakic are tied at 625. So
Oh, easy.
yeah, he'll definitely pass though. I mean, he scored 43 last year. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I think he's going to get right below Shanahan
yeah, I think
at number 11 spot
Yeah,
at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think he'll definitely pass Andrew Chuck at 640. I'm with you. He'll pass. If he has an outstanding year, he has a shot to pass Shanahan. But I think he'll end up between Andrew Chuck and
I think he puts
Shanahan.
himself in the top 5 before he retires.
For sure. I think he definitely has a chance to take a run at Gretzky, but I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's there. He's still got like 300 goals to do that.
I've seen people say if he can play as long as Yager did, he could have a chance at it.
Yeah.
If
I
he
would
can
agree
play
with
as
that.
well as he is now, as long as Yager did.
Yeah.
Yes. Speaking of which, has anybody even seen anything about Jaromir Yager?
Yager.
Last year, I think he kind of retired, but not officially.
He's last time I knew he was playing for a team he owns in like the KHL or something. So like he basically said, I'm not retiring, but I'm gonna go find my way on my own team. So
I'm just gonna go sign my own paychecks.
yeah.
Nice.
I'm just trying to look up how old Ovechkin is really quick.
I think he's about the same age as Crosby.
He's 33.
Yeah, he's
So,
got time.
Yeah, he's still got at least a good 5 years under his belt. So if he can put up 50 goals in those 5 years, or at least right around there, I mean, he's still at 33. He's still at an elite level. So, and then you got to think because he got drafted in 04, he had a season taken away from him in 05. So, and a half a season taken away in 2013 with both lockouts. So I mean, I think
courtesy of Gary Bettman.
Yeah, I think when it's all said and done, I think a lot of people will say, "Oh, he probably could have passed Gretzky." I don't think he will, but I think he'll definitely be there.
Number 2 is still not a bad thing.
He'll at least catch up to Gordie Howe, who's at number 2.
Yeah. Yep.
With 700 and something, I think. No,
yeah,
I
think it's 8 something. But
yeah, I think he's just barely not to
I think Mess
Gretzky's.
passed him. Honestly, I think Messier passed him in goals
Oh, really?
too. I think. I don't know. I have to look it up, but.
All right. Well, the OV passes Bobby Hull, so that's always a good thing when you can pass a legend. And now, I just want to take a moment out of the show. You know, last night I got the opportunity to go watch the Grand Rapids Griffins game, and a couple of things to touch on last night. One, the AHL officiating was absolutely trash last night. How does both referees, not linesmen, see the opposing team, you know, a holding call, holding the stick of Grand Rapids Griffin forward last night? You know, 2 guys holding the stick, you can't move it. During the play, both refs are looking at him and no penalty is called. Quite a few missed calls in that game last night. I was very disappointed in the AHL officials last night. I mean, the Griffins still hung on to win that one 6-3, but quite a few missed calls. You know, there was a missed embellishment call that should have been called on the hit laid by Red Wings prospect Philip Zadina. Nice open ice hit, and they wanted to call him for cross checking, but the guy went down, played hurt, and then as soon as Zadina got to the box, he popped back up and was able to throw his stick. But I was less than impressed about the AHL officiating last night. I felt like the juniors officials were a lot better than these professional officials are. It was ridiculous. I just want to take a segment out of the show and just let you guys know that the AHL's got some serious work on officiating to do.
Well, I think a lot of people don't understand is that they're officiating, or it's just the AHL treats everything like you're auditioning for the NHL. So every official they have in the AHL is trying to get in the NHL just as like any other player. So
yeah,
if I wasn't there, I don't know the case. I don't know your situation, but the fact of the matter is that they're trying to get into the NHL. So if they're out there making bad calls, you're probably not going to make it.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. And, but to miss a blatant holding call where you can see, when you got both referees looking right at looking in the same direction as this penalty is occurring, and you got 2 guys holding one guy's stick, like, that's not a good way to get to the pros. That's for sure.
There's a possibility I'll be there Wednesday night at the game, so might have more on that story next Saturday.
Sounds good. And the Red Wings recap from the week. We, this is always our time of the week where we either are happy or we're complaining. Take it away, Roper.
Game 2, 4-2 loss against LA on Sunday night in LA. I didn't get to watch a lot of that game. I think I watched maybe the first couple of minutes, but just a couple of notes that I got was Jonathan Bernier made his Red Wing debut. Not a bad game. I looked up some of the shots. We outshot him and we out-hit him, which is a recipe for success in the NHL. If you can out-hit your opponent, you can out-shoot him. You have a decent chance to win every game. It's 4-2 loss. I think it was a lot closer than what the score implies. Connor, you got anything?
Well, I've kind of talked about a couple people. I definitely noticed that Detroit's a lot more physical this year than they have been in the last years. They're definitely using their body more. On that LA game, I was watching some of the post interviews, and Bernier said he should have had some of those goals that went in. He just, he has to warm up, basically. It's his fault. He's got to work better. He took full responsibility, which is great to hear. All the players did during their post interviews.
Awesome.
I was just looking some of the highlights of that game. Double A had 2 golden opportunities to score, and he missed on both of them. He had a breakaway in that game and deked himself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
If he scores on that, it's a 3-2 game, or it's a 4-3 game. Their 4th goal for LA was an empty netter, so really it should have been a 3-2 game.
Little score update real quick because it just popped across the little notifications we got on our phones right here. McAvoy makes it 2-0 Detroit, or 2-0 Boston over Detroit tonight.
Wow. Yeah, it's last time I knew they were out shooting them. I don't know if it's still the case, but Boston's a hell of a team, man. They're gonna be contenders. It's just that Detroit's still in a rebuild. I mean, that's what it's coming down to. I mean, when you play teams like Toronto and Boston, you're not gonna come out with a win.
I think you said, like you said last week, that we are officially that team that they rest their starters on.
Yeah. They are playing Rask, so I mean that's a
Probably just to keep them warmed up.
yeah. But back to the LA game. He completely missed an open net. Double A did. He had a wide open chance and just completely missed the shot.
We just signed him for a $3 million contract?
Yeah, I mean, he's getting chances. I think he had one in Toronto and got completely just stoned on. He's getting chances, you just can't bury him. And then to allude to your point, Connor, Bernier was, like you said, kind of taking credit for the miscue between him and Sulak. That you take away that goal just because it was just a misplay and it ended up in our net. It's probably a 3-2 win for Detroit had they, able to convert on chances and execute and be able to execute in their own zone. So I think this is a game they probably could have won, and they'll look back and say, yeah, we probably should have won that game, but for whatever reason, it just didn't.
These California teams are. Just last week I said San Jose was going to be a powerhouse this year, but looking back on it so far this year, not the case. But these are.
Well, it's still early.
Yeah, still early, but as of right now, these are some down-falling California teams that we should be able to put pucks in the net, get pucks in deep, pucks on the net, I guess you could say. And we got to definitely get these opportunities going.
Well, like the second goal in that game, I think it was Ledoux put it on net. Bernier should have had it, just kind of squeaked through his pads and went in.
Yeah.
It was like one of the goals we had last night at the Griffins game last night. To kind of go back to that, one of the defensemen, from what it looked like, had tried to clear it out. Must have come off his stick wrong or whatever, and it bounces off the back of Satari, or however you pronounce his name. He's a hockey player. Satari bounces off his back and goes in. And the guy who the one who looked like it by the replay that shot it, kind of just sat there and looked. He's like, "Yep, I screwed up."
So he pulled a Kindle when he was in Florida.
Or a Quincy when he started in. Well, no, because even Quincy when he's played for the Devils, that was blatant right into his own net. He just ripped it. But all right, back to the Wings recap. Sorry about that, little off on a tangent there. But we're good for it.
Yeah. Game 3 was the next night in Anaheim. Shootout lost to Anaheim 3-2. Shots were 27-21 Anaheim. Jimmy Howard and John Gibson in that for both teams. Just another game they should have won, in my opinion, or could have had a chance to win at least. You go to a shootout, especially when you have Franz Nielsen in your lineup. Probably should have had a chance to win it at least.
Nielsen actually, he lost the puck in the shootout when he was going up.
Did he? Yeah, I didn't even watch it.
He pulled an afternoon CU from the night before. He lost the puck when he went to shoot it.
Rasmussen had his first career point in that game, first goal on the first goal for Detroit. That game I did watch. I did watch this game first half of the game. I thought it was pretty cool. Anaheim had their Mighty Duck logo jerseys, I guess, kind of retro ones. It was pretty cool.
I saw the highlights of that game. I did really like those jerseys. I'm gonna have to go see if they're available online because, as you know, Connor and I being everybody here who works here at Melted Ice knows that we're brothers. He knows I have an old CCM styled one. I don't have one of the Adidas ones. I think I might have to go get one of the Adidas ones. This time I have my name embroidered on the back. Maybe I'll go try out for Anaheim.
There you go.
Hey, it's where goons go. I mean, come on now. They got Getzlaff and Kessler.
Who's injured? And Kessler.
Yeah.
And
They're,
Perry.
they're an
Yeah,
older
They
team.
need
I-
one. See, they need one.
Their forward line's all injured right now.
I think Anaheim's kind of taken over the reins as being the older team in the NHL. You know, they've got so many older guys, and it's just they keep making like the playoffs and stuff, and they'll make deep runs into like the second round, but after that, it's pretty much just flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got a feeling though these old guys are gonna band together right before they all kick the bucket and
Yeah.
take off.
Yeah.
It's coming. I'm gonna quote that right now. It's coming.
Corey Perry definitely isn't the player he used to be. That definitely doesn't help him.
Not even close.
Anyway, back to the Red Wings recap. Game 4 of the season, 5-3 loss to Toronto. I went into this game, or went into the second period thinking, hey, we're actually going to have a chance to win this game, and they didn't do squat in the second period at all. Shots were 35-29 Toronto at the end of the game. Probably a lot closer than what they should have been. Detroit had 11 shots in the first 2 periods. That's ridiculous. Especially a Toronto team that's really bad on defense.
Yeah.
Again, same thing as last year. They have who? Morgan Riley.
Yeah, like
That
that's their
is
only
it.
defenseman. Yeah,
That is
oh,
it.
Jake Gardner too. I'd say that, but
Yeah.
that's one line. That's your 1 out of 3 lines.
Yeah. And there's a video that I think I've shown multiple times on here. Maybe I'll do a segment when I go to edit this. You know, you gotta have 4 lines banging all night, boys.
Right. Yeah.
Gotta get pucks in deep, pucks off the glass.
Through the first 4 games, I think Jimmy's playing outstanding hockey. He's definitely a lot smoother, I guess. I guess Jake and I were kind of talking about it during the game. He kind of looked off, but I mean, when you have 35 shots thrown at you, you kind of have to be a little off, I guess. Trying to get anything?
Not really.
No.
Like
I
we just
think
stated, right now Boston leads Detroit 2-0 goals by David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy, the former Hobie Baker winner. I think Boston College, man, I tell you, the guy who has him on their fantasy team, keep drafting him. And I think, Connor, you have Charlie
I do.
McAvoy
I
on
do
our
have him.
fantasy league right now. I would keep, for fantasy owners' personal preference here, keep with Charlie McAvoy.
He's going to be a
Ditch-
stud, for sure.
Ditch the Rasmus Dahlin idea, because I'm watching this kid. They said that he was going to be an instant superstar coming into this league, and well, he plays for Buffalo, so you can't really be a superstar there.
Well, I mean,
You can and you can't,
yeah.
honestly speaking. But
Yeah.
ditch Rasmus Dahlin. It's not going to happen. Not right now. Not next year. Maybe that 3rd year he takes off and he sprouts. But you've got a better choice with it for fantasy owners. Andrei Svechnikov. I've got a feeling about him once he starts getting his sea legs. And I would go with Charlie McAvoy.
Elias Patterson too from the Canucks.
Yeah,
I feel
Patterson.
Yes.
He's
Yeah.
gonna be a good player.
Elias Patterson. Yes, that's a Patterson, whatever it is. Yes.
So I was kind of thinking about this at work. I was thinking about the Deline thing, about how he was supposed to be this great superstar. Out of 4 games, he has 1 point, which is an assist. I have a feeling he's gonna pull a Ristolainen. He's gonna have
It's flop.
Well, let me ask you this: what's his plus minus? As a defenseman, that's kind of what you're looking at.
-1.
He's -1. That's not bad. Through how many games?
4 games.
4 games.
That's really not bad. I
It's
mean,
not bad yet. But if I'm also right, he's not playing on the same line as Rasmus Ristolainen. He's playing that 3rd line defense that's not getting the minutes.
then- yeah, okay. If he's not getting the minutes that he really probably should, I will say 4 games is a really small sample size. Wait until December or February when he's played.
There we go. Maybe we'll include Philip Zadina in on this, and I guess we're going to have multiple segments on these videos. We'll run them all together.
Yeah.
Not having a professional camera, we'll work on it. Learning process. Anyways, but maybe we go in December. We go to the top 6 rookies or whatever, top 6 picks of the last draft, and we reevaluate them and we say, okay, are they where we thought they were going to be? Right now, excuse me, man. Right now, I thought Philip Zadina was for sure going to be in the National Hockey League by this point, but after watching him in warm-ups last night with the Griffins, I understand why we sent him down. It's got nothing to do with the fact that we couldn't fit him on our roster because we can't. It's got everything to do with he doesn't have his big boy legs yet.
Well,
He's not used to skating. He didn't look comfortable out there in the American Hockey League, let alone the National Hockey League.
Well, I guarantee you, all of these top 5, top 6 draft picks from this year are really only used to playing 60 to 50 games a season. They're not. I guarantee you, come 70 games, they're going to be feeling it. They're going to be feeling that grind. They're going to be feeling, they're not going to be. Their body's not going to be used to be an 82-game season.
Unless you're like Dylan Lark and you fell off in the middle and just took off in the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even in Larkin's rookie year, he still near the end got sloppy. He got really slow, and it was just his body wasn't used to the whole 82-game season schedule, and it's just something you got to get used to.
Absolutely, and these guys, they will come along, but like I said, right now, I know for a fact that Deline, and I guess I could go as far as Svechnikov, as much as I back him, are not where I would like to see them at.
I think Svechnikov is definitely showing. He got off to a little slow start. I mean, he's only played like maybe 3 or 4 games, but he's definitely turned it on the last 2 or 3. So
yeah, absolutely. I think he's starting to show his true colors. I mean, he's going to get there, I think, way before Deline does. But
I think Svechnikov will definitely walk away with being maybe the number 2 in rookie voting. But I think he'll get 35 goals easy, especially in a place like Carolina who needs goal scorers.
yeah, absolutely.
And they're doing good this year.
Yeah.
I don't remember who else they picked up. I know they got the Dougie Hamilton move.
Yeah.
For Noah Hannafin. I think that was a great move there in the parts of those participating teams in Calgary and in Carolina, trading Dougie Hamilton and somebody else for Noah Hannafin. That was, it was a shocker at first, but I'm not gonna lie. That has seemed to be a help jumpstart that defense that's kind of faltered out.
I think on paper they probably have the best defense in the league. On paper, I mean that doesn't always transfer to the ice, but on paper I think maybe they have the most talented defense in the league.
Absolutely.
Do you think them naming Williams as the captain this year has changed anything?
Justin Williams?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how I feel about the whole Justin Williams. I think he was one of the guys that was caught up in conspiracy when he played in L.A.
I think it's a combination of things. It's also Rob Brendamore's first year as a head coach. That guy knows what it takes to win. He's felt both sides of the coin. He's felt Stanley Cup final rejection, and he's felt it win. So, he knows what he's doing. He's a hard-nosed player. On top of Williams leading that young team, they needed an older veteran to really lead them, and they didn't really have it anymore. So I think I would have been okay with maybe him or Jordan Stahl.
I
don't even think Jordan Stahl. These Stahl boys, at one point, back in when whoever it was that played in Pittsburgh, because there's like 4 of them.
It's Jordan.
Yeah, he was okay. He was okay there where they had him at, like third line. He stand out on the stand out there in Pittsburgh. But after that, Mark, Jordan, they're not really the guys for me anymore. I'd say Eric Stahl was the better of the Stahls there.
He's still making an impact in Minnesota too.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric Stahl is making quite the impact in Minnesota.
Last year, I think he led the whole team in goals last year. I believe. I could be wrong.
There's another thing. I know we're kind of talking about Carolina, but they picked McElhaney over the offseason.
Yeah, they got him off waivers. Yep.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I think they have. I don't know why they really picked up McElhaney. That didn't really make sense to me. That gives them 3 goaltenders.
Yeah, Darling is injured right now.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Darling. They have Darling, and like you said, he got injured. They have Mrazek, and then they have McElhaney, who was part of Toronto's system, and then got sent down. Whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, where did he come from? Where's this guy? I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, he played.
He played Detroit a couple of times, I think.
Yeah, I think he played either the first preseason game against Detroit or the second one. and then they were trying to keep him in the system, and they had to send him down and then be able to bring him back up, and he got picked off waivers on Carolina, who seems like they pick up everybody good, but I don't know.
All right, now Connor's got something for us. Again, it's 2-0 Boston over Detroit, heading into, I believe, the end of the second period. Somewhere's close. But Connor has something for us. The 3 stars for his inaugural dedication to the podcast. 3 stars of the week, brought to you by Connor Bogut. And take it away, Connor.
NHL has the 3 stars as Phil Kessel, who got his natural hat trick against Buffalo.
No, it was I think it was Golden Knights.
Oh yeah, it was the Knights, Matt's Knights, who
I'm still rooting for him, I'm telling you.
playing like they should have last year.
Yeah, they are. They really are. But I'm not going to jump off. I'm not going to be a bandwagon fan on that one.
Thing is, there's probably the 2nd star, I would guess. The Blues, David Perron, who came from the Knights, getting his hat trick in the past couple days. I don't remember who they played.
He had a hat trick, really?
Yeah, he scored his hat trick.
Dun.
And then they have John Tavares with 4 assists.
Wow.
Score update. It is now 3-0 Boston.
Jake DeBrusk, man, he's a
He's a
good player.
beast. He's a beast.
I'm really glad I sat David Krejci this week too. That kind of irks me a little bit.
Yeah, so Jake DeBrusk, David Pastrnak, Charlie McAvoy, not necessarily in that order. Anyways, Connor, go back to your 3 stars.
Those were the 3 stars.
Alright. I missed that 3rd one, my bad.
Oh, it was Tavares with 4 assists.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Johnny Tavares. Did you know John Tavares, as it stood of like Friday night, last night, Tavares and Matthews have more goals combined than 4 NHL teams? Combined, like, the 4 of them combining all their goals equals 14, and these guys have 15 goals between the 2 of them.
And they weren't like slouch teams either. It was like Tampa, Florida.
They had the Oilers on there.
Yeah, it was the Oilers too. Yep.
And Arizona.
And then Arizona. Yeah. So it was like 2 of those teams are probably high-scoring offenses. Like you should be scoring more goals than that.
Absolutely.
Tampa's played 2 games and has 2 goals. Like that's ridiculous, especially for their stacked lineup.
Absolutely.
Guess they shouldn't have gotten rid of Stevie.
Seems to be the downfall there. A little bit of a Griffins recap. Last night, I almost had to throw out my brand new melted ice hat here. A little awesome there. Because Philip Zadina, as much as I said earlier in the show, he doesn't have his big boy legs. He doesn't. But did score 2 goals in the AHL. He's trying to get back up there. He got his feet wet, now he's ready to go. He's ready to rock and roll. I saw a lot of Matt Pumple, or whatever his name is. Pumple, he scored a goal. 6-3 final score in that Griffins game last night. A couple of those goals, I mean, Hershey Bears, I think their goaltender they had starting last night wants to be the next Braden Holtby with a save he tried to make. Tried to make that signature save against Haula, against the Griffins last night. He just popped it up over a stick and into his own net. It was rather comical actually, because everybody tried to throw it out of there like the refs didn't see it cross the line.
Right.
But Griffins won 6-3, being their first win, I believe, of the new campaign.
Still pretty young year. I mean, young season. They've only played 3 games, so I mean,
Exactly.
It's
Still off to a better start in Detroit.
yeah, right.
So there's another live game going on, and I'm really surprised by it. The Senators are beating the Kings 5-1 while
they're not beating them at this point. They're spanking them. This is a Senators team that's
they're also being outshot 36-22.
So a quarter of their goals or shots have gone in, just under. Who's in net for that game for the Kings? Oh, it's Campbell.
Oh yeah,
because Quick's hurt.
Quick's hurt.
Yeah.
And then it should be Anderson for Ottawa. You just run into teams that are going through injuries and stuff. Man, it's the way it is.
Yeah, it's 82 games. It's one of the hardest schedules in hockey.
Yeah.
Or the hardest schedules in professional sports, I should say.
Yeah. For being on a team that most people put at the bottom of the league. We'll have to see how it goes.
I still put him at the
Yeah, I
bottom.
still. One game doesn't define a legacy.
I know, but
I will be
Brady to Chuck. I think
Chuck,
how you
yeah.
say it. I think
Yep.
he's gonna be decent.
He'll be there.
His own dad, Keith Thachuk, put him as the better of the Thachuk boys. He put him right over his brother Matthew. He said, Brady's got that, he's got that animosity, and he's also got that, more of that bite that, Matthew doesn't have. Is he's more of a biter, where Matthew likes to get the crowd going, and he seems to be this caught in the spotlight kind of kid. Brady Thachuk's got this, I don't care about this spotlight. I'm just, if you want to go, we're gonna go.
Right.
All right, so
There's 3 Tkachuk brothers, isn't there? There's
I-
one that still hasn't been drafted
Yeah, I
yet.
think so. I think he's the next one.
Yeah.
So I was looking at the goalies for that game. Anderson's in for the Senators,
Right.
obviously. They have Budai in for
Budai.
the Kings.
Peter Budai.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's probably why they've scored 5 goals.
Yeah.
There we go. And now, last week, unfortunately, we had a lot of technical difficulties. Camera didn't work, and we've kind of still playing with it this week. Audio went out. Still going good this week, so far.
Fingers
But fingers crossed. Knock on wood.
Right.
But last week we said we were going to do the top 5 or top 10, but Jake's not here to conflict with us, so we're going to do the top 5 right wingers right now. And each person will do their top 5. That's how we'll do it. Everybody will do their top 5, and then we'll collaborate to see who is the action. What we think is the actual top 5 right wingers of all time or of right now. Put that away. We're doing this just by our theories. No phones on this one.
You
No
expect
stats.
me to remember who's a right winger.
Well, it looks like Roper remembered.
Oh, he does the research
I
every
was gonna say I did the
every week.
research on it, so we'll let him use his phone.
All right, here, we'll give you this. All
I
right.
don't want you saying like Ovechkin's a right winger when he's a left winger or something.
Oh, that was kidding. Who is their right winger?
I honestly didn't. There's a lot of people that I didn't realize that are left wings that are actually like right wings or something like that.
I think Backstrom is there right
No,
winger.
Backstrom's a center. I know that. I got to use my
It's,
phone on this
TJ
now.
Oshie maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd put him up there in the top 10.
Yeah,
Right
he's
now.
he's definitely a top 10 right winger. Who do you guys have as number 1?
Number 1.
Number 1 overall right winger in the NHL right now. I'll tell you who the NHL had him once you guys give me.
I'm going David Pastrnak.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a leap of faith here, and I'm gonna go David Pastrnak. Guy's red hot. Not year in and year out, he's consistent, not injury prone. Is what I'm looking at as a guy who's played defenseman for countless years, and played developmental hockey for countless years, and I get to see the forwards up there having all the fun while I'm sitting back and watching it all go down. One thing I look at is a certain forward going to be injury prone? Because if he's going to be injury prone or if he's going to be out of position, those are the 2 things I'm looking at. I'm not looking at whether this guy can put pucks in the net at night in and night out. I'm just looking, is he going to be there to help out back here? And David Pastrnak is that guy. I'd say David Pastrnak right now, today, October 12th, 2018. 13th, sorry, my bad. October 13th, 2018. David Pastrnak is the best right winger.
Okay. Who you got?
I don't know. I would guess I would say maybe Line. I think he's definitely a point scorer that Winnipeg. I mean, they don't really need because they got a lot of players, but
He's
gonna
definitely their
be,
golden boy.
Yeah, he's gonna be top of their team for a while.
I agree with you. He's maybe a couple years down the road he'll probably be the best. I think anyway. For my money, it's Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane is by far, I think, the greatest playmaker in the NHL right now. Doesn't always make the play or make the goal, but he can definitely make the play. He makes everybody around him better. He's just a heck of a player. I mean, he's a hell of a talent and good player or fun player to watch. I will say the NHL had Kucherov as the top right winger this year.
Yeah.
I've got him at 4.
All right, we'll go around number 2. Honestly saying, before even everybody talked, I already had Patrick Kane picked out as the number 2 for that fact. He's consistent. He makes the right plays. 3 cups, 5 years stands out to me. He's
Yeah.
not very injury prone again. Also, consistency, injury. He's there. He makes the plays. He's Patrick Kane number 2 right now.
Right now, I don't really know. I'm just kind of looking at the list. They have him at number 8, but maybe Kessel. He might not be the greatest during the regular season, but once it comes to postseason, I think he really shows up.
He's I think if you give him the right supporting cast, maybe. Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. He's definitely top 5 in the league right now. I had Patrick Line at number 2. Like Connor said, he was in his his second year last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, his second year in the league last year, and he's I think he was chomping at Ovechkin's
2 goals behind Ovechkin.
Was he?
Like that.
Okay, so yeah, he was chomping at his heels to get the goal award. So that's and it's only his second year. He's only going to get better. He's only going to get stronger. He's only going to get faster. So watch out for Line A for sure.
Number 3, Vladimir Tarasenko. It's got to be. For me personally, it's a toss-up between Tarasenko and Line A. And I think I could probably throw Kucherov in there too, as a tied for 3rd because they're all 3 really good puck moving. They move the puck well. They get the pucks on net. They deep. They make each team's made a deep run at least once. Well, St. Louis, I guess you can't call them a deep run. I don't know.
St. Louis has had tough luck. I mean, last year they didn't make playoffs, but they've had long runs there before. I don't think they've made it out of the second round in God knows how long, but they're always a tough team to play. So I mean, Tarasenko's definitely the backbone to that team. Offensively.
Absolutely, without a doubt, hands down. So, if I had to pick out of the 3, I would definitely do Vladimir Tarasenko.
Connor?
I think I'd agree with Tarasenko.
That's where I got him at too. So.
So around the horn, complete sweep, Vladimir Tarasenko, without a doubt, Melted Ice's playbook, is the 3rd best right winger right now. Number 4, I'm gonna have to take Line A at number 4. I really am. I think I rob him of number 3, like you've stated earlier. I think you stated earlier, the guy he can put pucks on the net. He's chomping at Ovi in only his second year. He's got potential. He's got the potential that if Ovi doesn't pass,
Yeah.
he could.
I'd like to see him play center. Honestly, he's got okay speed. I mean, which is what you have to do to play center. But I think he could play whatever potential he has as a right winger. I think it would be just that much better as a center. I mean, people as a center, you kind of lead your line, and a lot of people go off of what you are. So I think he'd probably be a really good center. I don't really know how good of a skater he is, but I think that would be a switch that maybe Paul Maurice would like to look at. But
Do you think if they switch in center, he could still have that like OV slap shot that he does from the?
I think it'd be better
circle?
because now he can choose what side he's going to riff it from.
that's true. Yeah, depending on what handed he is. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen guys that are left-handed shoot from the right side.
Yeah, I mean, not saying that it's not possible,
Or
but
right-handed shooting. I guess you could say right-handed shooting from the right side because that's the side that's up against the board.
it's all about where you're comfortable.
Exactly. I mean, I know Connor and I are completely different. I prefer, we both shoot right-handed, but Connor's more of that, he can, I don't know what it is on that right side, I think we figured it out a couple of years ago, you're a little bit better off the right side, and I'm a lot better on the left side. That's the way it is with Ovi.
That top left corner from the right side.
Yeah, Connor can snipe cross net on it, and I've got that Ovi slapper from the slot that's just right there on the dot.
As a right-handed player as well, I like the left side as well too. It's a lot easier for one-timers for puck moving.
It's a lot easier to keep. I feel it's a lot easier to keep the puck in front of you that way too.
Yeah, I mean, on passes and releases, it's a lot easier on playing on the left side as a right-handed player, and that's normally how you do it. That when NHL coaches look at it, they say, okay, who's left, who's right-handed, and that's kind of how you set up your lines. It doesn't always work that way, but
Right. It's number 4. Ah, man.
yeah.
Well, we didn't even go around the rest of the way with number
Oh.
3. Connor, you gotta go number 2.
No?
Or we did
That-
4.
That's 4.
we had
right?
two.
You had mine
I had
at
4, yeah. Connor, were you at number 4? 4th best in the entire league.
I guess I'd have to go back to Kucherov.
Yep. I agree. Kucherov is this year they had him at number 1.
Yeah.
I think you could, with the season that he had last year, I think you could probably make a statement for him at number 1. But I think
So far, really nothing this
yeah,
year from
yeah,
him.
yeah. I mean, is it going to be a 1-year thing? Is it going to be every single one of those players that we just mentioned prior has consistency. Yeah, they have multi-100-point seasons, or at least close to it. Kucherov, to my knowledge, only has 1, and he has so many people around him. So,
Yeah. And that's why I'm going to personally, like, this might shock some people because, I do, don't get me wrong, I do like Nikita Kucherov, but I'm going to leave him out on my top 5. And that is the fact that he has such a good supporting cast around him with Victor Hedman and Andre Palat and Steven Stamkos, and the list just continues to go on and on. Braden Point, Johnson, and
you can only last year was really their. I think last year was really their year to win the cup, and they fell short for whatever reason.
they got tired. I'm saying they got tired out.
That's what. Well, I mean, it's not an excuse, but that's the way it worked out.
Exactly.
Ovi wanted it more.
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely. Number 5 on my list. This is a tough one to pick. As much as I'd love to go with the Mitchell Marner, like I'm looking at Connor's list here, or the William Nylander. Again, they have such a strong supporting cast.
Nylander,
It's kind of hard to pick them out of the crowd.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Brock Besser, honestly.
After 1 year,
After 1 year, I'm gonna take a leap of faith right now and say, right now, this is what we're talking about. We're not talking about down the road or anywhere else. I think Brock Besser stand out last year by himself. Really, they outside of the cities which were on the decline, I'd say they were top 9 forwards. Take a leap and say they were top 9 forwards last year. Brock Besser really stood out with that Vancouver Canucks team. So that's who I'm going to go with. I'm going to go Brock Besser as my number 5 overall.
if he didn't have that hand injury, I think he would have won the, was it Calder?
Yeah, if he would, I think if he wouldn't have had that hand injury, honestly, I would have him higher on my list.
Yeah.
I'm going Brock Besser, number 5.
Kind of looking at the list, I think I'd have to maybe do Voracek. He has Giroux, but really not much. Gossespierre.
Well, he's got Goss, like you said, Gossespierre and Couturier.
He always knows how to. He can get that puck to you though.
But yeah, you're right.
He's an older player, but
I almost agree with you. I had to put Phil Kessel at number 5, but I was looking at Voracek. Both of them are pretty much the same player to me. Kessel has more postseason success, so I think I kind of had to go with him. Outside of Pittsburgh, though, he hasn't really done anything.
No. Outside of
who
Pittsburgh.
was he with before Pittsburgh?
He was he was drafted by Boston to start out. I think he played like maybe 2 seasons, and then got traded to Toronto, and then he got traded to Pittsburgh. So he's kind of bounced around the league, but he's a really good player, really good talent. He's obviously Crosby needed him to win a cup, so I mean it's got to give you something at least.
Right.
Wicked wrist shot.
Yeah.
The flex on his stick.
So,
if you look at
right.
it.
So the only thing we have in common out of all of our lists is number 3, Vladimir Tarasenko. But now, the moment we've all been waiting for, he prides himself on it. He's got his own signature tee. Roper with a freaking phenomenal player or moment of the week. Take it away, Drew.
Well, think it was Wednesday, earlier this week, Braden Holtby and the Washington Capitals played their Stanley Cup Finals rematch against the Knights. I think it was in Washington. Was it? Anybody know?
Might look it up.
Yes, I think so.
I think it was in Washington. Could have been Vegas. Not really sure. My buddy was watching this video of Braden Holtby trying to give this kid a puck. It was in Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes this to me even more funnier. Braden Holtby was trying to give this kid in the stands a puck, and he was trying to throw it over the glass to him. He threw it over, and this older gentleman was definitely a lot taller and a lot bigger than this kid that he was trying to throw the puck to. Reached over and just kind of caught it, and was kind of like, haha, I got the puck, whatever. Holtby was like visibly angry at the guy, like, I was trying to give this kid the puck, and you caught it. Like, what are you doing? And so he skated around trying to find another puck, grabbed another puck, skated back to the kid, and before he threw it, he like pointed his stick at the older guy and was like, "Move, like get out of the way." Like it was pretty funny. And he threw it, and the kid caught it, and I just thought, like, any other person, I feel like Holtby would, or anybody else that would have just kind of like walked away, sorry kid, I couldn't really do anything for you. Holtby went back and grabbed another puck and made sure the kid caught it. To me, that's funny. It's a lighter side of the game.
I don't know if it's much lighter. I mean, I hope you're pretty pissed off.
Yeah, I mean, it shows you like what kind of guy he was too.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Maybe
good
there's a clip of it floating around online. Maybe I'll put it on the page and our fans can check it out. But I thought it was pretty funny.
So,
That is awesome.
score update. Boston up 4-0. Pasternak with the power play goal.
Number one, I'm telling you, number one. Now he's got 2 goals on the night, and we're in the what? Third.
End of the second.
End of the second period is 4-0.
What are shots in that game?
Mhm.
Should tell you right there.
Oh,
Connor's still learning how to use the
They
NHL app.
probably did.
Right there. I'm going all the way up.
2023.
Right underneath the boat thing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
23 excuse me, Boston 20, Red Wings.
Boston's leading shots.
Shots on goal.
Yep.
Okay.
Goals. Not pretty, but as it stands, I'm Matthew Spooloff. This is the new guy Connor Boguth and the freaking phenomenal Drew Roper. This is the Melted Ice Podcast, and we are out. It's one of our shorter episodes we've had in a long time, gents.
Jake not being here kind of didn't help.
It was like 56 minutes.
Still almost an hour.